Mary is the Ark of the Covenant is an interesting way to look at Mary and I guess her own typology as it might occur in the scripture. So the Ark of the Covenant was a vessel that was used in the Old Testament by the original tribe of Israel. And the Ark of the Covenant contains things like the Law of Moses and Aaron's rod and other symbols of God's promise to his people. And ultimately the Ark of the Covenant was used in rituals where the high priest would go and speak to the angel of God. But then again, even though the law is done away with in the Old Testament to the New Testament with Jesus Christ, we see a lot of symbolism that gets passed back and forth between the two. So if you follow that symbolism, then the Ark of the Covenant in the New Testament very well might be Mary. Mary was the vessel that quite literally housed God's promise, Jesus Christ, as he comes into the world. And that the reverence she is treated with throughout the scriptures, especially by Jesus himself, is a reverence that was held for things like the Ark of the Covenant. Now, while this certainly might apply in all Christian standards as symbolism, in things like Catholicism, where Mary is treated with a sort of divinity, this is held in a much more literal sense. One of the core Catholics' beliefs is the idea of the Assumption of Mary, or that Mary's body was brought up to heaven after her death. But similar to the covenants mentioned earlier, how every covenant leads to a more specific one down the line, it's interesting to think of Mary as the physical embodiment of an objective embodiment of the Old Testament.